Is the UK about to have its own MAGA moment? Did you know that quietly in the UK, amidst the rape gang scandals, amidst the misappropriation of public funds, the agricultural protests, the locking people up for social media posts, a quiet revolution is taking place? While Tommy Robinson remains behind bars, Nigel Farage, leader and architect of the Brexit movement, is quietly leading his reform party, not that quietly actually, it's all over the news, to government. Let's have a look at this story and let me know in the comments and chat, do you think that Nigel Farage is the solution to the UK's out? Is he a British Trump, or is he, as I once said, a pound shop Enoch Powell?
He is a pound shop Enoch Powell and we got to watch him.
So, even though I've in the past had my spats with Nigel Farage, let's see if he's the solution to the current tyranny in the UK.
A potentially seismic moment in British politics.
Isn't British media amazing? Like the pomposity of it. A potentially seismic moment. This is the Runcorn by-election. Could anything sound more Monty Python-esque, parochial and local? Hello, it's the Runcorn by-election reform of one. But the truth is, actually, it could be an indicator of a Labour Party government, a centralist, WF, WHO, globalist, warmonger government, totally losing the support of a population in record time. Two-tier Keir, they call him, because he has one tier of government for his allies and another tier of government for his friends. And there also might be another tier behind the scenes to Keir that people just can't talk about because of a number of injunctions. Potentially, his government is dissipating, falling apart and collapsing in record time. And it seems that Nigel Farage is ready to take up the slack.
Nigel Farage's Reform UK wreaks havoc on both the left and the right.
It marks the end of two-party politics as we've known it for over a century in this country.
Really, what we want to see across the world is a transition in the institution of politics, not just the continual shifting and substitution of two political institutions, Republicans, Democrats, Labour, Conservative, that ultimately serve the same master. The rise of populism, most notably and obviously in the form of MAGA, has provided a significant obstacle to the advancing imperialism of our age, technological feudalism. And perhaps the same thing's happening in the UK right now. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat.
His party started with a by-election win from Labour on a whisker of 6 votes in Runcorn.
Anyone who's ever said voting is irrelevant, how do you feel now with those 6 votes making the difference?
But is it true you don't even vote?
Yeah, no, I don't vote.
The message I take out of these results is that we need to go further and faster.
That's an amazing message. Keir Starmer, isn't he amazingly? That's the leader of the United Kingdom, of all the people in the UK. Imagine when those islands were formed. Imagine the Saxon kings, chieftains and warriors, the Celts, the sword wielders, the Vikings. Look what it's come down to. I take this to mean that I've took this as a right shot in the eye. This has given me the fatty fiddlesticks of arthritis in my wrist. Oh, I think there's a rainstorm coming. Yep, the old wrist is playing up. That is not a leader. You can see it, you can feel it. You know a leader when you see one. They're idiosyncratic, they're unusual, they're powerful, they're charismatic, and you will recognise them this way too. The institutions of power will continually attack them and undermine them, and indeed, the only true leader any of us can turn to is...
Then a rout of Conservative seats, leaving the Tories with not a single council it was defending last night.
Protest parties are doing well today. I know that. It is disappointing.
All down to a howl from the electorate, which the big parties can no longer ignore.
Conservative and Labour, they give it loads of this. They do nothing.
The British people are awakening. The British people have had enough. The British people are ready for a different type of politics, like something we've never seen before. Now, can Nigel Farage bring that about? Let me know in the comments and chat what you think about it. Many people believe in it. Many people think that Tommy Robinson should not be behind bars for contempt of court. Let me know what you think about that in the comments and chat. Whatever's going on, whether it's the refusal to have an inquiry into the rape gangs, the agricultural scandal, where farmers across Britain are in protest protest or Facebook posters being banged up in jail, the UK is in disarray. What will happen next, and how will Keir Starmer lean into his personal resources as a human being and come up with solutions? Do you think he's got it in his locker?
These results, I could stand here and say opposition parties always do well in elections like this. We successfully defended 3 mayoralties, and of course Runcorn was very, very close. All of that is true.
I'd say that Runcorn was very close and we defended 3 mayoralties. We got mayors coming here, we got mayors coming there. We're doing ever so well, aren't we?
Do you recognise that type of politics where politicians reinterpret reality for you?
This is actually quite a good night. I'm pleased as punch. I'm tickled pink. I'm smiling from ear to ear. Yeah, not since my last AIDS test have I felt any better. You know what I done. Straight down the Billy Piper it went. Little whiff of it. Turns out I'm AIDS free. Don't know how, the way I live my life.
But I don't want to give that standard answer. I want to respond by saying, I get it.
Get it? I'm a radical. I'm making real moves. I'll show you.
We were elected in to deliver change. We've begun that. Waiting lists are coming down, 3 million extra appointments.
If you're American, I'm so sorry that British politics seems so tedious and boring that you have to sit and listen to these bureaucrat, dullard, pen pusher Poindexters chatting about all sorts of crap, emptying themselves out, grey, insipid, off-milk smell to the politics of our age. But it's coming to an end. The British people are sick and tired of it. The British people are awakening. The British people no longer trust their media. They don't want to pay their licence fees anymore. They don't want mass migration on a scale that's disruptive. They want to live in cohesive communities. They want to worship and revere the God of their own understanding, and they want, above all else, their voices to be heard.
Wages are going up faster than prices, hugely important for people in a cost of living crisis, and interest rates are coming down, which for mortgage holders is hugely important.
It's really good, actually. See, the mortgage costs are coming down. Things are fan-bloody-tastic. 2 thumbs up for me, 1 up here, and 1 up there.
It's really amazing to me when politicians stand and lie to your face like that. Have a look at Keir Starmer's X feed. It's just post after post.
I respect the firemen. I respect the farmers. British people respect VE Day.
It's just like the auto-typing AI chat of an apparatchik or backroom staffer churning out crap. Then do yourself a favour and look at the comments. Fuck off, Keir, fuck off, Keir, fuck off, Keir. It's just endless. We've never had a leader this unpopular. And this is the country of Tony Blair and Margaret Thatcher. Supply chains, strangled crops, burned by climate chaos are sending coffee prices through the roof. Blokes with clipboards who've never farmed a day in their life. Brazil's frost one year, a drought the next. Shipping bottlenecks, which is what I call my anus.
You can smell it.
Inflation, and someone at the World Bank whispering, "Let's just make it all worse." The result? Your morning cup of coffee now costs as much as a small island in Fiji. Not 1775. They've just launched the 1775 starter kit. It's like an act of civil disobedience that happens to come in a box. This is 3 bags full of real coffee and more. A dark roast so bold it could body slam Klaus Schwab through a Davos buffet table. A medium roast, smooth and strong. Stronger than George Clooney when he's blacked up on the bonnet to play Reagan. And their mushroom blend, legal mushrooms like lion's mane, cordyceps and turkey tail. You also get a milk frother that works better than most members of Congress. A black tumbler branded so boldly it gets you side-eyed by baristas and banned from brunch in San Francisco. And a gold spoon clip, a touch of elegance, reminding you that rebellion can be refined. It's $170 worth of rebellion for just $99. Go to 1775coffee.com, use the code BRAND and join the caffeinated resistance.
The message I take away from these results is we must deliver that change even more quickly. We must go even further.
We're moving like grease lightning. Go grease lightning. I'm bloody well up the stairs. I'll get the money. I'll get the bleeding money. Oh, grease lightning. I need another AIDS test. Write down my PO. Write down my bloody PO.
I believe for some time that's the case.
What I keep referencing is he made a big deal of having an AIDS test.
I did an HIV test. It's really simple.
So just to contextualise that.
I'm reinforced in these results that that's what we've got to do. So yes, I could do the traditional
Now, look along the bottom. Russell Brand in court. Okay, we got time and money for this, have we? Yeah, no, we better look into that. You mean this popular online reporter that's criticised this during COVID and all our decisions during war, then all of a sudden some publicly funded organisations and corrupt media organisations do 4 years of investigation?
Yes, listen, I've had an AIDS test for you.
It's not for me to defend myself in the court of public opinion. I'll be doing that in an actual court. But I'm very grateful to my friend Tucker Carlson, who posted this. Russell Brand was once a famous left-wing actor celebrated by the British establishment. Then he criticised the government for using COVID to turn the UK into a totalitarian state. The accolades abruptly stopped. A government TV station accused Brand of committing sex crimes against anonymous women they refused to name. Government officials called for his opinions to be scrubbed from the internet. That's Baroness Dianich, these referring to. They're married to Mark Lancaster, who's a PSYOPs official in the British Army. That's not even a joke. Last month, British prosecutors charged Brand with rape and sexual assault. None of the charges are backed by hard evidence. All of them supposedly took place more than 20 years ago, one of them in the 1990s. The entire case is transparently political and absurd, a near-identical replay of the fake rape charges authorities brought against Julian Assange 15 years ago. He goes on to say some other rather lovely things about me, and I feel that it would be remiss of me not to make absolutely clear that I don't put myself in the same category as Julian Assange, a brilliant, brilliant journalist and a fantastic man who made incredible sacrifices. Almost by accident, I found myself in the position because of you, because of your loyalty as viewers, reporting on stories that turned out to be true, whether it's the nature of Rishi Sunak's relationship with Moderna through Falim partnerships, Ukraine's relationship with BlackRock, the way that the media is run more broadly, the way that Pfizer were concealing information from us, the potential impact of vaccines. So I suppose, inadvertently, I found myself in a comparable space to Julian Assange, but whilst I thank Tucker Carlson for that very flattering comparison, Julian Assange stands alone, and hopefully he'll be alone in spending 11 years in prison without trial. Fingers crossed, eh? Now, Nigel Farage is the leader of Reform, and if there is a British MAGA movement, it centres around Nigel Farage, and whether you like him or not, you have to acknowledge that he has been steadfast with his principles when it comes to Britain leaving the EU, an anti-migration position, and one of traditionalism and patriotism, which it seems increasingly is resonating with the British public. He appeared on a British TV show, Good Morning Britain, which I guess is like Regis and Kathy or whatever, just a sort of soft sell soapy TV show where all of its former hosts have to leave because of weird stuff. Let's not get into that. Here he is being somewhat raked over the coals, as I understand. I've not seen the piece yet.
And we're a party that says young men coming to Britain illegally across the channel should not be allowed to stay. And it's extraordinary that in Runcorn alone, there are 750 of them.
But you've kind of whipped up that anti-migration sentiment.
It's not migration, it's illegal immigration. Let's get this right.
But that's not necessarily the...
It's interesting to see the biases. You've sort of whipped that up. It's not illegal. Like, Farage knows his onions, as we say in the UK. He's not talking about immigration, he's talking about illegal immigration. If something's against the law, then I guess we should enforce those laws, shouldn't we? Or change those laws. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat.
Necessarily the distinction that people who are voting are making, because some of those who were talking to me yesterday...
No, they're living in...
Do you see the subtle implication that you're stupid there? People that are voting are not making that distinction. Have you learned to read that kind of comment yet? Have you learned to read it? They think you're stupid. Well, the British people don't know. They just, as soon as they hear you say we want to control migration, they immediately march into the street and attack a corner shop owned by Pakistani second-generation migrants. British people are brilliant, beautiful, loving, robust, great sense of humour, brave, lay their life down for what they believe in. There's no one quite like the British. But the fact of the matter is, we've been lied to, subjugated, misled for such a long time by fools in the legacy media. And I, as a celebrity, have participated in that in the past. Because guess what? You can't be a celebrity unless to some degree or another you are convenient and useful to the agenda of the powerful. You heard it here first. Either you just appear in their big tent marquee movie releases, or you're just one of the lesser pantheon that can be pushed forward to be a mouthpiece for a particular agenda or mindless distraction. Delete as appropriate. But here we see the nub. When people get near power, they will be attacked. Nigel Farage, by the way, he's had his bank accounts shut down and all sorts of weird, shady, illegal stuff. He's been lied about and attacked. As I keep reiterating, he's not a person that I've always gotten well with, but what I believe in is integrity, authenticity, and I actually believe in democracy and free speech and justice and all the things we're told that we're supposed to believe in. The people that say they believe in it, that are part of the establishment, don't believe in it. They like it as a weapon. And when people start to use those principles, whether it's free speech, transparency, authenticity, holding up a mirror to power, telling truth to power, if that don't go their way, you better believe, as quick as lightning, working class people don't understand the news. They shouldn't have flags up outside the house. White van man, they're all racist. There's your true colours.
Streets here. They're living in streets here. I mean, hotels may be emptying, but houses of multiple occupancy are here to be seen in street after street, and people resent it. And you know what? If your alarm clock goes off at 5 o'clock in the morning, you go off and work for 10, 12 hours on a building site, and the tax you're paying goes up every year, and you think part of my money is going for these people to walk into this country and live for free, you do feel there's a sense of unfairness.
Some of those I was speaking to yesterday, they weren't making that distinction. One, for example, talked about the man who committed the Southport attacks, for example, who was born in this country.
Just even actually to see Nigel Farage being able to handle himself like that. Keir Starmer can't have those kind of conversations. You've all seen the clips where when it was fashionable to say that gender fluidity ought to be respected, and there's certainly an argument for that socially between us all as human beings, he couldn't tell you whether or not there was a woman. What's a woman? Oh, well, I know them. It's the waspos with the jellies on their chests. Oh, I've seen them before in my dirty books. Oh, I'll have a look at those. That's why I have to have an AIDS test every couple of months, because I love the waspos. He can't have a conversation on the news live. Of course he can't. He's got too much to hide. Nigel Farage, whether you like him or not, he can chat normal on the TV. Me, if it was up to me, and I know that it isn't, Nigel Farage would ally with people like, say, George Galloway, Jeremy Corbyn, to create a truly populist anti-establishment movement. You lot should start thinking in that kind of way, by the way, getting across the divide, getting across those categories, and thinking about who are the true and authentic anti-establishment voices in the UK, because those are the voices you can trust, not the people that are trying to destroy them.
As having come from abroad, as being a migrant. So,
his father came as an asylum seeker, actually, and was given leave.
But he was born here.
No, he was born here. Yeah.
And are you sure that your voters are making that distinction between?
I think our voters know what's right and what's wrong. Absolutely.
Your voters are racists. They're stupid, and it's them that should be deported. It's them that should leave the country. Round them up like we tried to in the COVID. Get them into internment camps. They do not love their grandmothers. Get the jab. Get the jab. Get the jab. Get the jab.
They use compassion to augur fascism. Have you recognised the pattern yet? The continual insults levelled at Farage and Reform voters makes me want to vote for him.
And it's quite interesting. I mean, the last general election, we had more of the black and ethnic minorities voting for us than the Liberal Democrats did. People know what's right and what's wrong. And coming to Britain illegally across the English Channel, I promise you, it was an issue that damaged the Conservatives. It will finish Labour in the north of England.
Do you think that Sarah Pochin's going to help you with your woman problem? Because not very many women vote Reform UK, do they?
Not true.
You've got a woman problem. You've got a woman problem. I'm a woman. I'm your problem. You've got a woman problem.
Not true. At the general election, it was 58-42 male-female. Okay? Since the general election, all of our growth share, it's been 50-50.
Okay, but under 20% of your candidates in these elections are women.
Well, people who stand, we're a very new party. People who stand, people who don't.
So what? So what anymore with all of this stuff? What you actually want is to wheedle out the corrupt, bureaucratic liars in institutions of media and politics, commerce and corporations. You want them gone. You don't want to be worried too much about whether anyone's got a boob tube or a wasp name, a Minky Mix or an Uncle Mike. Those things aren't important anymore. In fact, some of them I just made up on the spot. 1 minute they're telling you there's no such thing as a woman. Next minute they're telling you don't have enough women in your party. Which is it? Well, whichever one will help us win the argument we're trying to have while we unconsciously support the agenda of the powerful, which we don't even understand we're doing because we don't have any principles, because we don't believe in God, because we only believe in mammon, because we only believe in rationalism, we call it, but that just means discourse, sophistry and casuistry, creating arguments that benefit us. Nigel Farage, man, I gotta tell you, whether you like him or not, whether you have a history of arguing with him, as I literally personally do or not, he's better than them by a country mile. If you are a farmer, if you live in a city, whether you're Muslim, black, gay, whatever you are, Nigel Farage, you can rely on that dude to tell the truth. He might be backed in financial ways that I don't fully understand, but he's a much better deal than any of that mob.
How dare you say I've got a woman problem?
Well, I mean, I think some people objected to you saying, for example, that women don't sacrifice enough in the workplace, for example?
No, I said more women tend to put family above work, and men tend to be more selfish, is what I said.
They're relying on their own evidence. Do you remember when you said that women were all stupid and lazy? Wait a minute, what could I have said that you are repurposing now? Oh yeah, that's because I said women prioritise family. Maybe because their primary function is to grow human beings in their stomach. And before you declare that as sexist, the function of men is to provide the sperm. Even less important. If you look at reality just from a biological perspective, that's it. And if you don't believe in God, that's what you do believe in.
And I stand by that.
But you use the word sacrifice, which I think upsets lots of women who feel they do make a sacrifice to be in the workplace.
For goodness sake, you know.
Do use the word sacrifice. That's a nice word, sacrifice. It even rhymes with nice. You can't trust these people. You can't trust anything they say or anything they do. They might be perfectly nice people. I'm not talking about the individual. It's like the Matrix. She is simply an agent occupied by an ideology that is convenient to the powerful and will use her. If they find out tomorrow that she once on the internet said something rude, she's fucking gone. They'll get another mug up front to say those things. Go out there and try and embarrass Nigel Farage. Well, thankfully, he can handle himself.
Women make different choices to men. Not all of them, but many do. And men are far more selfish than women when it comes to work.
They're trying to get everyone to talk real slow all the time and be real boring. Hello. And when I say hello, I don't mean hell is surrounded by the letter O. I just mean the old greeting, the nautical greeting that people used on ships. Ahoy there, I mean. Shiver me timbers. They're just trying to sort of get us into some etymological linguistic trap continually. And that's possible for them because they don't have any principles.
But it helps you to have a female MP now as one of your 5.
Not just that, but Dame Andrea Jenkins is about to become Mayor of Greater Lincolnshire. And you're right, of course, it will change the look of the party, and that's a good thing.
Maybe that exchange is an indication that Farage could be a British Trump because he's willing to go, yeah, you're all right. You know, like conversational, normal. When he's putting in pints of lager on his head and smoking fags, I never spotted all of that. That he's personable. People are sick and tired of these sort of dry, dirge, tedious politicians and these sort of condescending news broadcasters. It's like a breath of fresh air. Although I do wonder about his breath with all that booze and fags.
He left when you said migrants should be put in tents. That's good enough for France. That should be good enough for them too. Do you think that's a divisive way of conducting politics?
I think it's what the majority and the silent majority think.
That's what you think of migrants. That's where they should.
And illegal migrants, people come here illegally. They should be put in tents like they do in France.
And people seeking asylum should also be put in tents.
Well, I think genuine asylum seekers, like Ukraine, etc. That's a different matter.
And then you also accused one candidate of. She said you were parachuted in,
yes,
and you made a comment about her South African accent. What did you mean by that?
Well, what I meant is, how can they say I've been parachuted in when I spent most of my...
Just sticking up for South African accents. Have you ever heard of South Africa?
Listen, okay, right, I will tell you in 15 minutes, you better be inside of that.
Listen, people with South African accents, they go through hell. How can you be so cruel about the most mellifluous and beautiful of the accents?
South African accent, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more beautiful.
Really, almost objectively, not a nice accent. That's not to say that South Africans aren't good at cricket and rugby and being humans. It's just come on. Someone's saying something about an accent. Aren't we all a bit bored of this crap by now?
Life in Lincolnshire, school.
Why mention the accent, sorry?
Because the irony of saying someone's been parachuted in who's not even from the country. I mean,
Yeah, good point, isn't it? Good point. Fuck off.
Went to school, college, university. So I think...
So someone who's got an accent can't be from this county.
That's what I meant to say. Yeah, thank you. You've really helped me there. Sorry, I meant to say no one with an accent should be allowed to do anything ever. Yeah, thank you. You've really helped me clarify. And you're clearly not trying to manipulate this story in order to create division and hatred. We can totally trust the news.
I think, actually, I'm not even going to answer any more of your questions. I think that your questioning is quite divisive. You're looking into things when it was a little play with words. It was a little joke because of the irony. Do you not understand irony?
The only reason I'm asking is...
No, the only reason I'm asking is because I'm trying to start an argument and I won't rest so everyone hates each other. Then we people that work in media can keep our nice offices and keep pretending to be nice people when all we actually do is shit on working class people and spread hatred everywhere and then collect a paycheck for it, even though legacy media is dying because people are waking up to the fact that it's completely empty and hollow and carrying the agenda of the powerful. Oh man, what an awakening. Whatever happens with Nigel Farage and the Reform Party, ain't it a relief just to hear people talking normal? No, it isn't. I'd like to hear more South African accents, and don't you ever criticize it, not even as a joke. Or Nelson Mandela's word like that. You can't do that! You can't do that! That's racist! Well, South Africa was a little bit racist for a while. How dare you! How dare you bring up the past! How dare you! We're the ones that bring up the past when it's suitable to us and change it and manipulate it if convenient. The UK is quietly revolting. I mean that in a positive way. People have had enough of lying media. People have had enough of institutions being used as weapons. People have had enough of a political class that clearly hates them. They're awakening to it now. The only people that support these institutions are the people that benefit from things staying the same. And with Britain in decline, there are less and less of them these days. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and chat? Remember, we stream every day on Rumble. We speak freely there. Get into that chat and tell us what it's all about. And if you ain't got Rumble Premium yet, get Rumble Premium now. Additional content from me and our supporters and partners. You gotta have media organisations that are committed to telling the truth. More important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.